Not really happy with how colors look and all that. I'm going to try something new here. Whoa. That's way better than what I was expecting. I should do this from now on in these colors. Hey everyone, Total Level here. So, we're doing normal colors. Apparently I was told that. Really doesn't look that good. I thought it did, but oh well. Anyways, we're doing a new series here called Better Than Expected. This is where I'm going to suggest a few games that I had very low expectations of, and they ended up being a lot better than what I thought they would be. Now, I do want to say, like, the ones I'm going to be talking about in this series aren't exactly going to be the greatest games ever, right? I want to make that clear to everyone that, these games might just be more like decent or whatever, but yeah, some might be fantastic, others might be a bit more mediocre to people, but kind of my expectations versus what actually happened. And yeah, so first game that I'm doing on this series is on PS2, Neopets The Darkest Faerie. So big reason why I chose this is because I feel really bad. I was just checking YouTube and all that, and there was a comment on my PS2 collection video that I completely missed, and I feel really bad, so I really wanted to cover this game, and I thought this would be a good way to do it, do a new series, and yeah, talk about this because I felt kind of bad not being able to talk and missed that comment entirely. I actually found out I missed quite a few comments, so I do apologize for that. I do my best to read and reply to every single comment, and yeah, it slipped through cracks. So yeah, someone asked me to cover Neopets The Darkest Faerie, so that's what we're going to do. As yeah, it's pretty standard adventure game. Now on the front you'll see like two characters. I'm not going to go that far into it just because yeah, there's there's a lot to get through and all that, and I don't want this video to be super long or anything. It's just kind of basic overview of the first couple hours to give people an idea, because I'm not exactly recommending these games. It's more like just saying how, kind of my expectations and all that. So for Neopets, if you're like me and grew up in the 90s, Neopets was one of your first online social games, right? And yeah, sorry, I have a hockey game on, so if you see the lights kind of flickering and all that, I also have my head perfectly blocking because I saw on the reflection of my Zelda Wind Waker poster that you could see part of the game, so I'm making sure you really can't. So, yeah, if you're wondering about that, but yeah, so grew up in the 90s like me, then yeah, you'll know about Neopets and kind of this, not really Pokemon type style, but it's kind of like you're just raising these things called Neopets. I can't quite remember, it's been so long since I did it, but yeah, and it's kind of why I bought this game kind of a few years ago, because it's like, okay, Neopets, let's see what this game's all about. It was super cheap. I think this game's still very, very cheap, so yeah, pretty cool. Sorry, thought something happened, nothing happened. And so yeah, I'll read the back of this. So the Darkest Faerie has escaped, and all of Neopia is in peril. Two young heroes torment the night, and Roberta, the sorceress, must join forces to stop her evil plans. But are they too late? So yeah, play as both Torment and Roberta. So yeah, and a few other things here, but yeah, and there we go. There's the focus, but yeah, did not expect anything from this game, and it turned out to be a solid adventure game. And let's just dive right in now and you can see what this game's all about. In Neopets The Darkest Faerie, you play the game as Torment or Tor, as that's what I'm going to just say his name Tor. It's a lot easier, and that's what the game, everyone calls him anyway. So, as Tor grows up on a farm, but he wants to become a knight. Now, I do have to say the game does start off as slow and frustrating as possible, and that's because you start with having to gather kind of 3 of these Neopets. Sorry, I'm blanking on names and I can't really remember, but yeah, you kind of have to herd them back inside a fence, which is a lot more annoying than it should be. As you can see, I'm kind of struggling here, but at least the game doesn't make you bring back the 15 or so that were in the opening cutscene of this game. Now, after doing that, you have to do quite a few more tedious tasks one after another. So yeah, these tasks would be like gathering water or getting pliers that are on the roof of your farmhouse for some reason, before you get tasked to deliver a package to the city of Meridel. Here is when the game does start to get much better. As you travel, you do learn basic combat, which is basically mash the circle button, at least until you become a knight and all that, and you get to be taught a few more tricks with combat. Now, it's definitely clunky and will take you quite a bit to get used to, but overall, I find combat to be alright or decent, right? Now, you can also take on mini quests along the way to Meridel, though it does start off very simple and kind of cliched. You know, you got hide and seek, gathering quests, that sort of thing. Now, one really cool thing I found with this game is kind of its combat and its use of magic or elemental system, right? You gather these motes and it allows you to equip them to your sword, shield, whatever you need to fight. There's also a good number of different ones to collect and experiment with, as these will help you defeat certain enemies easier, and it's one of the things with this game's combat that I find quite interesting. Now, once you first enter Meridel, get ready for some more just kind of frustration with, you know, remedial tasks and all that, right? Because, yeah, once you enter, you will be running around all over the city and other areas to complete more of these tasks. When you deliver the package that you're supposed to, the person you deliver to asks, like, oh, so you're delivering this, you want to be a squire for us, and since, you know, Tor wants to be a knight, he signs up, and this is where the running around starts. Because first you have to get like a knight's approval, and once you talk to him, you got kind of fetch quests to do, and then more running around and talking to certain people to help him get the approval, and then eventually you have to backtrack all the way back to your farm again, and once you get to your farm, you'll have another quest to rescue someone. I don't want to say too much more than that for, you know, just, you know, I don't think people care too much with spoilers, but I'm going to be careful nevertheless. But yeah, and the game here isn't too bad when you have to do this rescue mission, because you get to do a lot of combat and some basic platforming and all that. It's kind of fun to do, I find. You also get your first boss fight here, as first one is pretty basic, but the bosses here are kind of Zelda-like, you know, where you have to use a certain attack or find a certain way to make kind of the boss or vulnerable, right, so that you can actually attack him. Finally, after you do all this, you do become a knight, and once again, there's going to be a lot of different tedious tasks to do. That also includes doing a sewer level, which I have to say I wasn't a fan of the sewer level, but it's pretty rare that there is a sewer level in any game that I enjoy. I mean, sewer and water levels seem to be kind of the down spots of a lot of video games, huh? But, yeah, I probably will end kind of what I'm showing right kind of here, because I think this gives you an idea of how the game plays. You do unlock another character later on that you can play as, but I just want to show the first couple of hours. And, I mean, I don't think it's really a spoiler to say that there's another character you play as and all that, considering that's how this game, on the back cover and all that, kind of just, sells the game of, like, you have two different characters to play as. But overall, Neopets, the Darkest Faerie, doesn't do anything special that many other adventure titles have done before, but it's very solid. Yes, there's way too many boring and annoying moments or tasks to do, but when you get to just explore and fight lots of enemies, it's quite fun. Honestly, I didn't think I would enjoy the game like I have, even though I kind of grew up with Neopets again. Pretty much every 90s kid did at least had a friend to play PC, try Neopets and all that, so yeah, even with that, I didn't think I would like this game as much as I did, especially since I bought it, just a few years ago or whatever, right? So, yeah. And I know throughout this it sounded like I kind of complained a lot for this game, but I just wanted to give everyone a good idea of what to expect if you want to pick this game up for yourself. Now, just like this video series, kind of title of, better than expected, that's exactly what Neopets the Darkest Faerie is. It ended up being much better than what I expected. It's a pretty solid adventure game. It's far from being the greatest. There's so many others that I'd rather play, but honestly, it's, I would say it's worth checking out if you can find it cheap enough, and this game usually is pretty cheap to find.
Tor, I've got something for you to do. Something important. I want you to deliver a package.
Over to Farmer Addison's again?
No, this one goes to Meridel.
To Meridel? To the castle?
So yeah, that was Neopets the Darkest Faerie. Again, sorry it took me so long to cover this, you know who you are, and yeah, but yeah, very solid adventure game, pretty cheap. There's other Neopets games too, where the one on PSP also wasn't too bad. I know I have one on Wii too, which I didn't really like. It's a little too kiddie for my likings, but yeah, where it's a puzzle game and all that. But yeah, very solid game, and let me know if you enjoy this series. I'll do more, you know, just looking at games I have that I had very low expectations of, you know, usually blind buys and all that, yeah, ended up being pretty cool. So let me know, and yeah, hope you all enjoyed. So yeah, have a good one, everyone. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos on the channel. Also, leave a like and comment. Let me know what you guys thought of the video. I do my best to reply to each comment and also in a timely fashion. Sometimes I miss a comment here or there, but I do my best to read and reply to all of them. So, yeah, hope you all enjoyed and take care, everyone. Bye.